coming up in all angles. More calls for a paternity leave law.
Be it resolved that this Honourable Senate express its support for paid paternity leave to workers.
Is it necessary, and how would it work? But first, residents of St. Catherine continue to suffer from Windalco's pollution of the Rio Cobre.
I think the citizens here have a serious claim.
And thank you so much for joining us. This is All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. And welcome as always to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. So joining us in this segment of the program to talk about the pollution of the Rio Cobre, we have the Vice Chair of the St. Catherine Parish Development Committee, Kestenard Gordon. Also with us is Head of the School of Public Health and Health Technology at the University of Technology, Professor Winston Davidson. And in fact, let me just say that we did also invite a representative of Windalco to be here. NEPA also told us they were not available for this program. We'll have to follow up. Later on in the program, we'll be having Opposition Senator Lambert Brown and member of the Love March movement, Casey Garvey, and Gleaner contributor columnist Lipton Matthews. Before all of that though, Kalisha has this overview.
From brown and murky a week ago to light green on Tuesday, there are visible changes at the Rio Cobre in St. Catherine. This after the water became contaminated on October 15, leading to a fish kill and a breakout of illnesses in nearby communities. When we were here a week ago, dead fish lined the riverbanks and the air was thick with the smell of decay. Yesterday, the bad odor was gone. So you would have thought that the residents would literally be breathing a sigh of relief. But they're still not happy.
This thing is slackness going on right now in our country. We need justice.
Daniel Gale was among the scores of residents who turned out to this church in Kent Village on October 18 for a meeting with their lawyer. It came after Member of Parliament for the area, Natalie Nita, announced her intention to sue bauxite mining company Windalco on behalf of the residents. The National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA has linked the contamination to effluent flowing from Windalco after heavy rain.
We don't see nobody from Windalco, and right now we're very distraught and feel upset about what's going on. Nobody not using the river right now, so everybody is just stressed out right now because it's most of the people live as a livelihood. Swim spot, fish spot, and all of the fish them dead out.
When we first visited the community, residents told us they had sought medical treatment for their illnesses. But when we went back to the community on Tuesday, this is what we saw. This child is just 1 year old.
We eat the fish Tuesday and then the Wednesday, and so when we look on our skin, it never so bad, but continue every day, it does come like this. My mother bring him to doctor, and when they go to the doctor, like them say, something in our blood or something, I don't know. Because it should be in the water.
But while it is still not ideal, the fishermen told me it would still be good enough for fishing, but still they have to look on from a distance.
We have to go way out about a place near Akazal, how much mile to go fishing.
Like Daniel, most of the people in Kent Village depend on the Rio Cobre to make a living. Fishing, the main occupation. So when the river is out of bounds, it affects their family life.
I don't have any transportation, so no and then I follow my friend with a man with a vehicle go to Akasala and place, but I have to find something else. I buy and sell certain things and still go and hospital feed my kids them.
But while they're going miles to find new fishing spots, customers remain skeptical.
We go up there, we man and get fish from Akasala and no people now buy it because them say Rio Cobre and the people them say no want to buy it. So that definitely slow business right now, and we know say further down it have a slow business to all when things come back to normal.
Which is why the fishermen want speedy compensation from the government.
We start clean up and now we're not getting a response from nobody. We want to know how we clean up funds ago.
From Bagwat Bridge to Damet, crocodile no. So all we need to clean what we see crocodile. So it's a very risky thing and dangerous. So right now, we don't know what it's going to work out.
We also learned on Tuesday that Kent Village is not the only community where residents have been suffering since the contamination. This is Irish Pen near Job Lane in St. Catherine.
We must eat fish every week outside and make money every week to supply our family.
And right now the thing slow down. You see me? A way out we have to go try go forget them thing, and it's difficult because transportation hard to get, because bicycle and walk foot.
This water is coming straight from the Rio Cobre. It's what the residents of Irish Pen and Job Lane depend on for fishing and also for domestic purposes.
When the toxin come in the water, it now gonna just leave just not because of running water. And the fish them absorb it. We're not dead and we're living them absorb it. So them fish there, maybe it have to go through them system first and then come back out of them system before we can go. And we're not scientists, so we don't know how long exactly it's going to take. So we just left it for months.
Kalisha Williams for All Angles.
So let me contextualize this a little bit, because I have here a statement that NEPA had issued saying that it had served 3 enforcement notices on Windalco for discharging improperly treated effluent into the Old John's Gully in Yorton St. Catherine. NEPA said that the discharge of improperly treated effluent is a serious threat to natural resources because it can contaminate the soil, the surface water, underground water, and damage flora and fauna, meaning plants and animals. And NEPA also said it's a serious threat to public health because it's corrosive and harmful to humans on contact. The date on this, 2011. Another story in terms of NEPA serving an enforcement notice on Windalco following an effluent overflow at the Yorton plant, which contaminated several waterways, including the Rio Cobre. And NEPA said at the time that the effluent contained a caustic chemical that posed a risk to public health and natural resources. The date on this, nearly 1 year ago, 2018. Let me ask the Professor of Public Health to start us off. So, Prof, caustic chemical being discharged into waterways, what kind of possible impact on public health are we talking about?
Well, first of all, the caustic chemical that they're talking about has to do with the bauxite effluent that contains caustic soda, so it's sodium hydroxide, which is extremely, contact with it or any ingestion of it can cause quite a lot of problems. Problems such as the aura, the mouth, esophagus, stomach, etc. If they ingest quite a lot of this effluent, they can get severe pain, vomiting. They can vomit with a lot of retching, and they may even vomit up blood. They also can have damage to their esophagus, to the mouth, and to the oral cavity. It is also the caustic soda. The pH is extremely high, and as a result, that is what gives that particular effect. If it is also corrosive, in the sense,
saw who said those children.
Well, it is corrosive, so therefore a child, the skin of a child is very thin, and therefore the child would respond to it more readily. That's if you use the water at the time that is corrosive. It also contains elements of red mold. You're talking about iron oxide, you're talking about titanium, you're talking about aluminum oxide, you're talking about magnesium, quite a number of heavy metals, and those heavy metals in themselves are very, very dangerous if ingested over a long period of time. How is this how did this come about? I think that they have some settling ponds. The bauxite company has some settling ponds, and when you have heavy rains, you have overflow of this into the river, and this is what perhaps has caused it. It means that because of climate change, you do have, in fact, extremes of temperature and extreme of weather, and therefore the bauxite companies will have to take the necessary measures to increase the barriers to prevent the thing from overflowing, just in case you have.
Yes, that exact point was made 1 year ago, though.
Yes.
When the last.
The fact of the matter is that this problem, we're looking at the literature, it goes back all the way. I've looked at literature in the 1970s when a lot of research has been done. The last research was done in 2012. and the data from the 2012 shows contamination in the river. I mean, the particular river is about a 30-kilometer river, and they have done samples at different stages of the river and found that the microorganisms there, in fact, are contaminated, and so therefore you have different stages at which are different over different times, and that the effluent gets into the river.
The microorganisms are contaminated.
The microorganisms
Right.
that they call them macroinvertebrates.
Yes, but
These
that's
are
the point
things.
I was going to make.
Yes,
So
yes.
does it then go up the food chain?
Right up the food chain, yes.
So
Because
in other words, fish or
the
whatever
fish
other animals that eat them.
Yes, and so therefore over time, if you eat these fish that are contaminated with a high level of aluminum, iron, etc., this will in fact affect you, and so therefore it is something that needs very, very urgent attention.
Hold that
Now
thought
the question
for me. Hold
is,
that thought for me, Prof. Let me just go to break. Yes, we're at our first break. Our hashtag is TVJ All Angles. We'll be back in a moment.